Yeah.
Me
Oh, we
either.
are officially at time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to get started with our newest episode of Let's Develop. Today, we're doing Get 'Em While They're Young, Secrets to Newborn Photography with Lindsey Boler. This is just going to be an absolute blast today. So before we get started and jump into content, because we do like to keep these things pretty short and efficient, meaning that 1 hour of your life, you're going to just be flooded with information, know-how, and make your business and life better, which is going to be kind of cool. So I'm your host, Chris Wooley. I'm a photographer, I'm an educator, and I'm a guy that's got a lot of friends, and they're really smart in the photography industry, like Lindsey. So it's like, okay, let's get these people together. Let's start sharing information and figuring out how we can improve the photography industry. And that's where Let's Develop got started with, is because basically we want to know how we can get stuff going on and start improving everybody and everything that's going there. So we do have a new episode every 2 weeks. So every other Wednesday, we're going to have one of these webinars. We've got some of the top professionals in the industry that's sharing their information and just helping us get better. And I do have to give a shout out to American Color Imaging. They're the guys that are making this happen. They're like, yes, this sounds amazing. We want to be involved with it. And so they're helping put all this together, getting everybody up here and making this a blast, and giving us some cool prizes and swag to give away as well. So with that, if you did miss our very first episode, we had Gary Box on a couple of weeks ago. It's like printing money, and we have marketing tips for photographers. So the replay on that is live right now on ACI's website, absolutely free. Just go to acilab.com/let's-develop. Same place that you registered for this webinar. Down at the very bottom of the page, you're going to see Gary's picture there. You click on that, you can watch the webinar and see the show notes from it, so that you can read some of the highlights and things that are going on with that as well. So kind of helpful to know that you still have access to all that information and can go back and review, because like I said, we cover a lot of information in not very much time. So it is nice to not have to be too focused on writing down notes. You can still catch up with everything that's happening. So with that, we are in the webinar format. And so that means that when we get to Lindsey here talking, she's going to be dropping a ton of information on you. And you might have some questions. And we can totally answer those questions live. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, there's the chat box that's to the right of the screen, and the very right is a question mark that's in a little chat bubble. If you hit the question mark, you can type in questions there. So that's the surefire way to make sure that we're going to see those questions. And then you're able to upvote those questions, meaning that we're going to get through as many questions as we possibly can. But if you have something or you really want that question answered, give that an upvote and it'll go up towards the top of the list. So make sure that we're checking that out, so that you can ask questions and we can make sure that we're answering them. And of course, you're welcome to use the normal chat feature as well, communicating with each other and giving us little messages. Definitely appreciate that feedback that's there. One final thing before we get started, if you do have an idea of what you'd like to see as a future presenter or topic content that we're doing on this program, please drop it in the comments or email me. I'll put up a slide at the very, very end. But without your input and feedback, we don't know what direction to go. So we're just going to keep on getting cool people. But if you have somebody that you're dying to see or a topic you want covered, put it in the chat or send me an email and we'll go over it. All right. You about ready, Lindsey?
I'm ready to roll.
All right, so here's who we have today, and you can see her down at the bottom of your screen too. But we've got Lindsey Boler, and she's going to be talking today about newborn baby portraits. And she is a whiz when it comes to the business side of things. So she's going to be sharing some of her marketing tips, tricks, how to make this work, how to make money on it, get your schedule booked up. We've got actionable ideas that she's going to be sharing with us. But you might be wondering, like, okay, who's Lindsey? If you haven't heard of her, I'm sorry for you, because she is quite amazing and she's all over the place. So she's
there's no better statement right there than I'm all over the place, especially right now. So
her and her husband Jamie, like, they do everything. So they've been in business for like a dozen years or so. She's a photographic craftsman. I think you're in the process of expanding your studio too, aren't you?
Yes, we are. So this year, hopefully, at the beginning of the year, I set goals, and I never saw goals happen so quick in my life, but I'm grateful for it. But we are getting ready to hopefully. My goal is to buy. Our goal is to expand to one studio, and it's looking like we're going to be expanding to two more studios and two more locations, which is huge and exciting and um, overwhelming at the same time. But we're truly grateful for it. But yes, we are expanding our Red Elephant name.
That is super, super cool. Also, other things because she's all over that place again, juggling. And so she's got a podcast. So you can check that all out, all the things with Lindsey, as well as an educational site, Reducation, that's geared around business owners. If you look up in the upper right corner, there's a little thing that says offers there. I'm going to drop a link in there right now so that you can get the links to her Facebook page. So at any point during this, you can check it out. I'll also send it in the wrap up email as well so that you can stay connected with her. So I'm going to stop sharing our screen and let's kind of join in and start talking newborn baby photography.
Okay. We are going to do this because I love to present and teach on stage, but I also love the podcast type format where we just sit here and talk and have a conversation. So I thought this would be a cool way and a different way to do this. So, but newborns are my passion. It's something that I have loved. Okay, I won't say since the beginning. Jennifer, who is my baby whisperer, I call her my baby whisperer. She's in. If I would have loved to have her on tonight, but anyway, she come to me with her little boy and she wanted me to do his newborn pictures. We had been in business for like maybe a year. And I said, that's not really my thing. And she said, well, I think that you should do newborns. And I said, well, I think I want to do seniors. And she won. And that's really how it began. And so here we were. We wanted to do newborns and we were really stuck on how to get them in our doors, how to get them to see us, how are we visible. And then after, we had people calling and booking with us, what was happening is we saw that their babies were, I won't say too old because obviously, I mean, there's no wrong time to capture beautiful images of a baby. But when you have a newborn, you really want to try to get them in the door, 5 to 12 days. So what was happening is people were calling us and their babies we couldn't get them in until the next week or the next week. And they were almost past that date of sleeping, getting those real cute curled up newborn poses like you all saw in the beginning of the presentation or you see on our Facebook page. And so we had to come up with a system that made people pre-register or reserve a spot or however you want to word it. And that is where all this, excuse me, really took off was when we started doing that. So we have created a system that has helped us over the last 12 years go from 5 newborns to last year, I believe, even with COVID, we had 175, and in previous years we've almost had 200 newborns. So I found that I'm very ambitious, but we are I call us a volume high-end studio. So we do IPS with all of our newborns. They come in our doors. We do ordering sessions, and we have great sales from those. But we also do volume, and have found the older I get, I've got to slow down just a little bit more. I'm not nearly as ambitious as I thought I was. My body has caught up with me. But we typically have 2 to 3 newborns one day a week. And we had to come up with a system and build on that. So the first thing I really want to focus on, and if you decide you want to follow my podcast, I talk about goals a lot. If you've ever heard me speak or teach, goals are a big thing. I'm very goal oriented and driven. And so when I say that, I think it's important to set goals for everything. I set goals for my newborns. How many do I want? How much money do I want to make? What I want my profit to be? And that's where it all started. That's where it all starts, is having that number in your head and knowing how to market and work towards that, and trying to get them to pre-register or reserve a spot with you. And so I'm going to give you all some really helpful tips that have made our business go from that 5 newborns to the 200 mark. And it's not easy. It's tedious. It takes a lot of marketing. And if you're like me, if marketing makes you want to pull your hair out, I want you to comment like, right now okay, you're on the side. Marketing, I have such a love-hate relationship with it because I absolutely love it, but at the same time, it's like a challenge to me and it makes me crazy sometimes. But I
But it's a
had to
fun challenge. That's getting the
it's
people in the door, huh?
right. It's a fun challenge. How do I do this? How do I get people in the door? So this is what we do. Okay, this is a big one in our studio. Every Black Friday, we have a massive newborn special. And with that special, so I want a funnel. Okay, so my funnel is big, which is I do it a little bit different. Everybody in my head is my client. Um, that's how I look at it. So I will collect email addresses and we start funneling down. So we start with everybody's my client and then we go after we've seen. So what we do is we have our order minimum, our sitting fee and our order minimum. So you start kind of weeding people out. But with our special, we have incentives. We don't offer discounts. Discounts are not, I don't love discounts. I forget what I've offered with those discounts. I've tried that. So we'll
You
do,
need to repeat that again. The incentives versus discounts. That is such a huge point. It sets value for your brand and then saying, okay, no, we can give incentive to try to do more, but you don't have to discount what you're worth for doing that. I
right.
love
And
that.
that is where ACI comes in because some of the things that we offer with Black Friday as incentives this year, we did diaper bag tags, which are luggage tags. We just turned them into diaper bag tags. We also, instead of doing the proof boxes, we call them memory boxes. So it has an adorable newborn picture on it. And then they also can open it up. They can put hospital bracelets in it, things like that. So we offered. Amber said I need photos of that. Yes, you do. Yes, I'm on it. I did take a picture of the box the other day because we had an adorable one that came in our door that we did. So those were some of our incentives. We also work with a company that's local called Posh Pushers. That every mom in our area loves the Posh Pusher gowns. So when they go into the hospital, they wear these adorable gowns. They're fancy. They're fancy. So we offer those in incentives, but they work with us, and we do this every Black Friday. So we pamper them with stuff. I do mom survival kits. So basically, what I want to do is collect email addresses. I want to get those email addresses, and I want to post about it. This is what you're getting. I want you to tag, like, share, all the things that drive people crazy that they feel like they're being tagged in all the time. Um, but it's a little bit more specific. So we really hype this up. And I don't wait until the special to send pricing. You know, if somebody says, what do you charge? I will go ahead and send it to them. I want people to know up front if they can afford my services or not. I want them to know that. And so I will send that to them prior to. We try to get them all the information that they want to know in advance. And this happens over about a 2-week period. So on Black Friday, we start, and then on Black Friday, it is unreal the number of newborns we see book on Black Friday. And this has been a huge benefit to our business because what happens is people are pre-registering, they're booking, they're reserving their spot. They know that we know that they're coming to us. They have a photographer. You know, there's no waiting till their baby's 10 days old going, hey, I know I need newborn pictures. And so we're getting them before they're born. We know sometimes before family even knows that they're having babies. Like that's crazy. That's such an honor and awesome feeling because they know they're like, I have to book a newborn session ASAP to make sure that I get one with Red Elephant. It's just that hype that we've put around it. And it's a strategic funnel plan. So what we do is
So one second. So as people are going in and registering, so the Black Friday is when you have this amazing thing where they get some of the cool extra swag and products and stuff
right,
as an incentive for booking.
right.
But they're booking before the baby's even here. They're knowing like, hey,
Yes.
I might be doing this weeks or months in advance. Is that
Oh
correct?
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I
Okay.
I want them to pre-register or reserve their spot about the time they find out what their gender is. And most people can find, depending on how you do it, most of the time you can find your gender out between 12 and 13 weeks. Some of it's more 18 to 20, and that's okay too. But we really hype up the earlier the better. It's never too soon to book. And we understand that things happen. unfortunately. And obviously, money goes back to them if that were to be the case. And we tell them that up front, and horrible circumstances like that just rip our hearts out. But, that gives them a little bit more confidence to go ahead and reserve their spot as well. But so here's what happens. The first 3 moms that book with us get something huge. This past year we did offer where their sitting fee came off of their order to the first 3. We offered where that went towards their order. The next 3 got mom survival kit. So my sister-in-law is a labor and delivery nurse. So this works perfect. I said, what do moms need when they come into the hospital? What's helpful items that moms may have? And so she gave me a list of things, and we put together these mom survival kits for them. And then everybody else after that, maybe, I can't even remember what we did this past year, but it was just a very small incentive to book. So we really hype it up. People are tagging their friends, they're liking it, they're sharing the post. We've done.
You're giving them a reason to book with you,
right?
A reason to pull the trigger to say, yes, I'm going to do that. I got to have red elephant.
Right. So it's the big one of the year, and we'll do other little not discounted, but incentivized sessions throughout the year, but nothing quite like this. So everybody looks forward to our Black Friday. People are already spending money on Black Friday. They're sitting at their computers. Why not spend it with us? And why not go ahead and get that spot reserved so we can start planning your session? And that's really, really what we're known for, is customizing these sessions, which we'll get to in a minute. I told Chris, I said, we really need to do it like this, because I could go on and on and on about this, and even if you are not a newborn photographer, that's what I want to add. If you are a senior photographer, if you're a wedding photographer, you can use this same thing as I use for my newborns. It's really just hyping it up and getting people excited. I love job security. I'm a warrior by nature. And so if I'm not meeting these goals, or I'm not filling my calendar the way I want to, I'm like, how can I do this? How can I strategically plan to do this? And so we found Black Friday was a huge hit. We've extended this to our seniors as well this past year, because my husband photographs seniors. We've taken this to our senior market, and it worked this year very, very well. So, this is not just limited to newborns. That's what I want to add. You can do this with anything. It's all about planning, though, and thinking about your post. So that's really it for that special. The next thing is just everyday social media. Again, posting.
So this is what you do, another way that you're getting attention and getting excitement built up about doing newborn portraits.
Right.
Okay.
So we have this special that special that we do once a year, but obviously I can't post, for 2 weeks, 2-week period, and have all the sessions that I need for an entire year to meet my goal. So I'm thinking, this is how many we need. This is how many newborns till we reach our goal, or, whatever, whatever goal you want to set for that. But everyday social media, again, over in the comments, if you are trying to photograph and think about your social media post, and you're like, your head's exploding over here. I'm like, oh, did I post that? Did I do this? Did I, everyday social media posting is just the consistency and showing up and showing people what you want them to see. So obviously,
what are you posting?
I'm posting my newborn stuff. That's, you want to make sure that if you don't want to shoot weddings, you're not putting up wedding mark. If you don't want to, if you're 3-month-olds, you're like, I don't want to photograph 3-month-olds at all. Don't post 3-month-olds. I'm sorry. I'm going to answer this question really fast.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yep, we can also hit up on stuff. I don't want to run out of time. So let's hit up on the questions. We'll get all of those answered. I'll convert them to questions so we don't miss them.
Perfect. So we'll do that at the very end then.
Yep.
Okay. So
it'll be exciting.
Everyday social media is just as important, because what happens is, if we don't post on social media and we're not visible, We're not showing people, we're not showing up every day. Now, despite how many people we think see it, a lot of people just, they see it and they kind of go on. Not everybody's going to like and, you know, comment on your pictures, but I believe they do see it. But
So it gets some traction and proves that you're doing this day in, day out, and keeps them fresh in the memory.
Exactly. And I ask my clients what they want to see. You know, I believe that having that conversation on your Instagram stories, your Facebook stories, what do you want to see? And most people said images, believe it or not. I do post a ton of behind the scenes, you know, grab your phone, do a back of the camera shot. We use a lot of, I've started doing TikTok videos and putting those together, you know, just little behind the scenes. And you wouldn't believe and I know that sounds like a lot of social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of those things, but a lot of them coincide with each other. So it's easy to just share. A platform that we use that we really like in our studio, and I know there's others, but this is free, is Creator Studio, I believe is what it's called. It's through Facebook. And so it automatically, you can schedule to Instagram, you can schedule to Facebook. You can put stories on there. You can't schedule your stories yet. Hopefully they'll have that feature soon. But we like that. We use that a lot because obviously right now we're not just scheduling for our studio here in Scottsville. We're scheduling for 2 other studios as well. And that's helped with consistency with that, is to constantly using that to schedule posts. And when I have time to really hone in on getting people to talk to me, to talk back, it's connection posts. Connection posts, I'm a mom, so I can relate to other moms, or, you know, if you're an aunt or you have a niece or you know, whatever, however you can find stories you can tell, experience. People like vulnerability. They don't want to hear,
They want to see you're real.
That's right. People want to know you're real. And with our business name, it's Red Elephant Studio. So we a lot of times appear as a company or a big business when in reality we're a small business. And so it's really important to make those connections and let people see that there's not a robot behind the computer or behind the camera, that you're a real life person with real life issues that they can relate to. And connection posts are really, really important. And if you're not a writer,
so what do you do in a connection post?
You know, you can talk about your personal birth story. If you've had kids, you know, what it was like. You can write about what to put in your hospital bag. The list just, I'm drawing a blank right now of, I mean, a lot of times these things just are like at the top of my head and I'm like, I'll write it really quick and then I'll hit post and then I'll go back.
So just
and
being
edit
genuine and helpful.
Right. You know, maybe it's something that I'm going through that day with my kids, even with older kids. You know, I think it's just letting, like Amber said, you know, your personality shine. Let people see you, let people see your face, let them see what you want to do and know you a little bit better. Talk about your family. All of those things are really good connection posts. And then this is my favorite. I love the term, and I've never heard anybody say it, so I'm gonna pretend I come up with it. But scroll stopping images, and now we've all witnessed those on Facebook. Okay, you know, the ones where we're scrolling and we're like, whoa, go back. You know, what was that? That's so cool. And that's what you want to be posting. I understand that consistency is important. I'll post a lot of things, but those scroll stopping images are the ones that maybe they're creative. So that's what we're known for. The very first image that I ever did was a puppy in a doghouse. And it was like Facebook and my business blew up because it was something unique at the time. That this is 12 years ago, people. I know there's a lot better stuff out there now, but you know, just scroll stopping images. And one of the ways to do that is to really customize and personalize your session towards that family. And again, that's something we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes, but creating scroll stopping images. And then last but not least, for everyday social media marketing, you know, it's really hard to toot our own horns. Okay. I'm the world's worst. I don't take compliments well. But we really have to dig in as any type of photographer and think, what are my strengths? What do I do different from, you know, I don't think we should compare ourselves to other photographers, but know what you do differently. You know those things that set you apart from other people. Focus on those things. Tim Wallen said it best, create gaps from your competition where you're doing things that are different from your competition and talk about those things. My big focus in our studio is client experience. I want to give them custom images, but client experience and customer service in our studio is everything. And here's why, is what the next one's going to go to, is that is work. There's no better marketing than word of mouth. There's just not. And
the value and return on that is just ridiculous.
That's right. And when you have a newborn mom that trusts you, that they fall in love with you because you've made their life easier, you've made their life helpful, you've taught them something. I can't tell you how many times parents leave and some of the things that we use in our newborn studio, they write back and they're like, okay, can you tell me where I can buy this at? Because I noticed that it made my baby sleep. And, things like that, those parents will never forget. And they're going to tell their mom friends. Something that I have noticed too is that if you have one mom friend pregnant, it's like there's something in the water and all their friends are pregnant. So, all their friends are looking for a newborn photographer as well. So if you give one of them a good experience, the word is going to spread like wildfire. You may not hear it. You may not see it on your social media posts. You may not see it written in your review section like you would maybe if something bad were to happen. But I can promise you this, they're talking about you if you give them an amazing experience. And you can do that with whatever, if you have a studio, if you do, a room in your house, your garage, you're going to their house, you have the ability, no matter where you're at, to create this amazing experience for your clients. And it's all about showing up, being present, and really loving on their baby and taking care of them, showing them that you're the expert. Parents love to know that if you're a new photographer, here's what tends to happen. We're not confident in ourselves yet. And so it's really hard to present ourselves as the expert. But when we learn to be the expert in our field, that amount of trust that we create with that parent is what creates that word of mouth. It's all just this cycle that
you get better clients too, at least.
That is a very, very good point, that you're starting to get the clients that value you, that appreciate you, that don't expect discounts, that, they're going to book you no matter what. If your price has gone up $100,000, no, I'm just joking, but they're going to book you just because, they value what you do. So you're really creating value there. So, my goal is to always direct them away from social media. I get distracted. I'm a squirrel type person. If you all have never heard that term, squirrel or something shiny. So I want to direct them away from Facebook. I think it's important to get them off there. I like to collect email addresses. Something we have to remember is that we don't own the Facebook platform. We don't own social media. It's like we're renting.
Are we talking about a new this is separate from word of mouth, correct?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay, I'm looking at my notes, and apparently I did my squirrel thing in my notes too, because I'm like, oh, here we go. But
like, oh, shiny.
I know, right? I have 45 minutes to talk, and I'm like,
I know. I'm going to keep you going, but we've got great information. So, yes, away from Facebook because you don't own the platform.
We don't own the platform at all. It's basically like we rent that space. So my website, I own, we are, so to speak. So it's really important. I want to pull them away from social media. So they're not something shiny moving on to the next, because that scroll stopping image that you've posted, it's only going to catch their attention for so long before they're gone. So my goal is to, if they message me, that's fine. But typically I want their email address. Can you give me pricing? Yeah. Let me get your email address. Something that when they click that, it's going to direct them. And so we just switched, and it's called Sprout Studio. And it's brand new software. It's incredible. I love it. But it has booking proposals on there. So we have pretty emails that step-by-step booking instructions for them, guiding them.
This is your studio management software?
Yes, it's
Okay.
it's everything all rolled in one. It's our studio management software. It posts our we do IPS with our newborns and seniors, but we don't with our baby plans. We have galleries and people order online from those. It has that on there. So it's all this rolled in. You can do appointment booking on there. It's all rolled into one. So we found that we absolutely love this. But with the booking proposal, we can make these pretty emails that we send them. We can give them information that doesn't overwhelm them with bullet points. We don't when you're sending mom's pricing, if I try to think about what I'm like. When I'm reading something that looks like a book, more than likely I'm either scrolling and I'm not paying attention to all of it. So I've learned that bullet points, straight to the point, let them know what they need. And it does say on there, we require that you reserve a spot. If you wait until after your baby's born and reserve a spot or try to, we cannot guarantee you that we'll have a session spot for you.
Ooh,
And
I like that.
I know. So when we first started doing it, it might have been fibbing just a little bit, kind of, fudging it just a little bit. But now it's true, and people know that they book in advance and they know that they are not guaranteed a spot if they don't. So sometimes, again, you have to kind of toot your own horn here. We fill up quick, we're booking fast. Use keywords like that. So, but it has step-by-step booking instructions. They do pay their sitting fee on there. And so I like the connection with talking on the phone, but mom brain does not always allow that to happen. Because moms are, when you're getting ready to have a baby, trying to remember to pick up the phone and call is not always the easiest, simplest thing to do. I have parents that fill out their booking proposals at, 12 o'clock at night. I mean,
So you're making it easy to do business with you.
Exactly. We'll get, we get to that connection. We get to know them a little bit better later on. But I want to get them booked if they want a session, because ultimately, if they keep trying to remember to call and to call and to call, they're going to wait. Their baby's going to be born and they're going to be sitting in the hospital going, oh, shoot, I haven't booked my newborn session. And
Right. Then they miss out on working with you.
Exactly. And I mean, me and Jennifer are just a barrel of fun. So, but that kind of leads to my next point, is that we don't do consultations. Our consultation is our questionnaire, and our questionnaire goes out through Sprout. So let's really get into planning the newborn session, the creative stuff, the cool stuff. And so I love Amber's like, you guys really are. I know. We try. Yeah. But that's our consultation, because again, we're in a very small town, and my clients come from, anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half to our studio. And so trying to get them there for a consultation, trying to get them there for a session, and then trying to get them back for an ordering session is really, really hard. And again, our questionnaire is very detailed. It has, favorite colors, nursery theme. How did you and your spouse meet? What's your favorite book? Do you want something creative? This is how we create those scroll stopping images that people are like, and maybe,
talk me through that process. Why are you asking those questions, and what do you get out of it?
So it really helps us create. So the little boy that was in the post, it's his dad's a plumber. He's in a toilet, and there's plumbing pipes all around, but his dad's a plumber. Now, a lot of people might look at that and think, why in the world do you have a kid in the toilet? Actually, I had more TikTok reviews on that picture and comment, or on that video, than I had anything else. And it's because it stopped them in their tracks, and they're like, why is this baby in a toilet? Well, his dad's a plumber. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, what can we do? What can we come up with that's going to be a scroll stopping image that dad can use maybe to advertise his business? Can you imagine that on a billboard? I kept telling him, I was like, you need to blow this up on a billboard. Everybody will use you for business, just because that's what I want to create. Now, in the last 12 years, photography has shifted a whole lot in the newborn industry. It used to be creativity is what everybody wanted. We've shifted to a more simplistic creams, whites, light colors. That does not mean that people still, that's not what catches people's attention. So some of these things with the questionnaire, I'm shooting for me, Mom and dad may not necessarily blow this up and put it in their house, but they love it because it's custom to them. It's
It's
something that
personalized. It's a
exact
reflection of
it's
who they are, so they've got a connection with it, besides it
right.
being their
So
offspring.
right. So, that's things that go good on like the memory boxes that we print with ACI or the diaper bag tags. Or, we really push to put on billboards, things like that. But it's really helpful. Knowing mom's favorite color, if she says she doesn't like purple, by golly, I'm not pulling purple for their session. And the reason we need this stuff in advance is because what happens is if we're pulling and trying to get set up and we're running around like chickens with our head cut off before I'm from the South, can't you tell? Chickens with their head cut off. If we're doing that, then we're not focusing our attention on the baby and the client experience. So before they get there, we have all this stuff set up, ready to go. It's pulled. We're not searching for, something over here and something over there. We have it ready to go and we can fully take our time to interact and connect with that mom or that dad and that family. And they know that our undivided attention is right there with their baby. And we've done it the other way. That's been some lessons that we've really learned the hard way is, when we stress or we can't find this and we're grabbing this, if we know based on their questionnaire what we're doing, there's no issues. We have it ready. That's another reason to incentivize pre-booking or pre-registering because we have time to take this questionnaire and plan and implement and order things that we need or build things that we need and really make it our clients.
How frequently do you do that? Do order in custom props or build a set, or is that happening with every client or special ones or?
So it used to happen a lot more when we had more of the creative
When you're doing
stuff.
5 instead of 150?
Right. Well, no, what happened was, I've seen the shift we've seen the shift in people saying, I don't really want creative stuff. I don't want, so we can make every session a little bit different with how we set it up, the color palettes we use. So it's not necessarily where we're having to order things or build things or buy things. But, 5 years ago, we were building deer stands, lifeguard stands. We were buying. Jennifer is very, very creative. My husband is a very good builder. I would be hitting him up at, all hours of the day going, I need you to build me this. Could you do this for me? And so we've really got away from that. We're not in that stage as much, but we still do have some that want it. I would say probably about 2 a month. We do something creative where we buy or build something for. We just did an Elvis Presley setup where, it was one picture, but we had the Elvis cape. She was named after Elvis. And so, it doesn't take anything really crazy all the time. Sometimes it just takes thinking outside the box and, what can I use to do this? What can I use to make that? And just really getting creative. Thank goodness for Pinterest, Pinterest projects and things like that. Pinterest is a huge help to coming up with some creative stuff or building because I'm the one that if you watch, it's a cooking show, but I'm the fail. Like when they show the
nailed
fail
it.
version. Nailed it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's me constantly. And so, thank goodness for Pinterest to give you inspiration on how to build and, creative things. So, but we utilize that questionnaire. It's huge. And
just allows you to know your clients better so that you can make it more of an experience for them then. Personalize it.
Right. And it gives us talking points too. So, that awkward, weird lull, like what do I talk to them about? What do I say to them? When you look at that questionnaire, it gives you that information that maybe can start some talking points. You went to school at Western or whatever that may be, just finding a way to connect with them. And this is something I love when grandmas come with them to the session and they'll walk in and see. Grandmas used to scare me. They don't anymore now. I love them, but they'll walk in and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, they knew that you went to Alabama, and love Alabama football." Or, "Oh, this is the color of your nursery. How did they know that?" It's like grandma's minds are just blown, because, and I'll hear the moms go, "Well, we filled out a questionnaire," but it's almost like we get there for a minute. We're mind readers. So,
Right.
um, but it's just always daring yourself to think outside the box and never do the same thing more than once. Or if you do it a different way,
Keeps you
have
creative and fresh too. Way more
exactly.
fulfilling as a creative, huh?
Right. I just get so bored with the monotony. If I was doing the same thing over and over again, I find myself in a rut. I'm like, we got to step out of this. So, and just find a way to make each session unique. Remember that you're shooting for your client, you're shooting for grandma, but you're also shooting for yourself. And there's times that you really have to think, okay, I'm just this one is for me. They may not want it, but this one's for me. This one's for my social media. This is for my marketing. And, just fall in love with what you do. Dive in and make it everything that when it comes to newborns, learn and explore everything newborn. Try new things. Don't be scared to think outside the box.
All right. So I want you to hit me with some of the lessons that you've learned from doing all of these newborn portraits. Like, give me the crash course. What do I need to know to be successful during this? I'm sure you've
Heat,
got some super ninja secrets. What'd you say?
heat, heat,
Heat? Heat?
heat. Yes. So when you think that, you're in a hot yoga room, the
Uh-huh.
babies are that like that's when what you feel like that is when the babies are the happiest.
So do you have
Um,
like a hair dryer out there or propane heater or what are you
oh,
doing? Heating pads?
I wish. I see my good friend Keelan on right now. He's also a newborn photographer, but so when I go teach places or go different places, I like to learn too. He had this two-sided fan, and one side's a fan, one side's a heater, and it's fantastic. So it has different levels, so you can, if you need to cool off, you can turn on the fan. But we have it. I mean, it's hot. Like, it's very hot. The room is small, which was a lesson we learned. We used to have this big, huge, wide open space, and trying to heat that is not fun. So heat is good. We have a heated blanket that we put on our bean bag under all of, like, we have our heated blanket, and then we have all of our blankets on top of it, so babies don't overheat. But we do have that. Makes a huge, huge difference.
What does
White
the heat do?
noise. I guess it keeps them warm. They don't know they're naked. All the moms walk in and they'll say, "Well, they don't really like to be naked." And we're like, "They don't know they're naked. They have no idea."
Yeah.
But
So it keeps them warm and able to be
right,
posed and doing what you need them
right,
to do?
right. They never know they're naked. They never get cold. A cold baby is typically an awake baby. So again, lesson
Gotcha.
learned the hard way. White noise is another huge one. It's you can get it for free app. A lot of the noise machines come with it. White noise mimics the sound that they hear in the womb, and you would be shocked how annoying this noise is, but how much babies, you turn it on, it's like, oh, you got me, and they just kind of pass out. They're out of it. Um, those are two of the big ones. Let moms feed them, get them good and full before you start. Uh, a fed, warm baby or is your happiest baby. And we have babies that have colic. We have babies that have upset stomachs. All of those things. Patience is key. Uh, patience, patience, and just being really calm with them. Our method is good, better, best. So, if you have a fussy baby that, you feel like you're going to eventually get them, you're going to get pictures of them. Now, there has been one or two cases where it's just, we're crying out of control. We've had to do something different. They've had to come back. But just patience and baby steps. So start with something that's not hard, or something that's, if their hand placement's not where you want it, we're very, very, very picky about those things. But, um, you know, get the picture, then perfect. Get the picture, then perfect.
That sounds
And
like experience talking there.
oh yeah, because you go in and you're like, I want to do this really cute froggy pose, and if they're not having it, they're not having it. And people, it's their world and we live in it. So you might as well just get ready. It's their world and they dictate all of it, and you just have to have patience and baby step it. Good, better, best. So
How
that's our
long does
met.
your
That's our
typical session last?
So most of them last roughly about 2 to 2.5 hours. And with our system that we have where everything's set up, laid out, we can pretty much move through a setup anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes, just like clockwork. And this has just come from experience too, finding our flow, what works for us, what works in our space that we have. Our space isn't very big. It's probably about a 10 by 10. So it's a
That's the
really
baby
small
room
room. That's the baby room.
or the
And
sauna. Do you do yoga in there too?
yeah, you could definitely do hot yoga in there, especially today. And we just go from setup to setup. So when you're a newborn photographer, you just have to find what works best for you, what flow works best for you. And once you get your flow down, stick with it. Keep doing the same thing over and over again with your flow. Don't swaddle them and then unswaddle them and then swaddle them back for different setups. Think in your head in advance. Um, all of these are going to be swaddled first, and then we're going to take the swaddle off at the very end. Or if you have a mom that has a really pretty family heirloom gown, do that at the beginning or at the end so you're not pulling things over their head. One of the things that we send our parents, one of the tip sheets that we send them in advance says, bring them with something that buttons or zips versus having to pull something over their head. Don't y'all like my hand gestures? Like, they don't need to pull something over their head. That's going to wake them up. So make sure that, little things like that make a huge difference when you're trying to keep a baby asleep.
Cool. We've got just a couple more minutes before we're going to start in with the questions and answers section. So if you do have questions that you want us to answer, please type them in the comments now. Okay, back to our conversation there. So when do you typically like to photograph newborns? Like, what's that perfect age range?
Anywhere from 5 to 12 days is a good age range. If mom is nursing, a little bit later is a little bit better, more so, to like the 10 to 12 day mark. 5 days is a little young when they are nursing, just when moms are nursing, just because they haven't got a good flow down yet. They're learning how to, the sucking motion and everything. So we found that, if you're bottle feeding 5 to 12 days, but if you're nursing, maybe just a little bit later to let everything get acclimated and that stress level go down. We want them at a good weight. If we have, obviously we'll have preemies, we'll have twins. We like to get them close to 6 pounds. 5.5 will work, but we had a baby last week that was 4'9". It worked real, he was right at his due date. So we kind of think about if they're early, how much they weigh. So we do make some exceptions where that's concerned, but 5 to 12 days is right there where we like it.
That's the magic time.
That's right. We did learn with COVID that we could do this up to 3 months old, but I don't recommend it, because all of those sweet little babies that were born in that 2-month period last year, we had to wait until we could reopen, and we made it work. But you don't want to have to if you don't.
You can't get the froggy pose at that age.
No, that wasn't happening.
Okay, and right before we go into questions and answer stuff, can you tell me about what your baby plan is? How does it work?
So which part of it? Like our, go ahead. You elaborate, just like my.
Yeah, so when you're booking, when we do the Black Friday and they're booking a session with you, what are they doing?
So they have 3 options. It's called the Snug, it's called the Baby Fresh, and then we have the Bundle of Joy. These are our 3 packages. They all come with different things in them. We want them to find what works best for them. And then family and sibling, or something that they can add to the bottom 2. The top one does include that. They're paying their sitting fee for that. So after they do that, we're sending them an email. We're telling them, let us know before you leave the hospital. We're going to get you in that next week. They're going to come in for their session within, the 5 to 12 day range, hopefully, and do their newborn session. After they finish their newborn session, they're coming back the next week to order and view their pictures and make all their selections. And then after that, what we do is we go ahead and schedule them. If they want to come for the first year, we're taking care of that right then. So they're not having to call back and say, oh, my baby's 3 months old or my baby's 6 months old. Again, same concept. We want to get them booked while they're sitting right there with us. So It doesn't slip their mind. There's no waiting until it's too late or we can't get them in. So we are always thinking about how we can get them to come back again after that.
How many sessions are they doing in a year then?
Our favorite is 6, 12, and family. So 3 is the one we like. We do offer 3, 6, 9, and 12. That is not my favorite because 3 months is really, really, really hard. Because they have such a it's like the newborn, except their eyes are open and they have even more of an opinion. But a lot of people do that. 4, 8, and 12 is a really popular one that we do like because you get that sitter age. But we like head up, sitting, standing, and then obviously the smash cake sessions are kind of what we're thinking about when we're capturing milestones.
So you're always thinking of ahead. How can you get them in? What can we get for the next session? How can we build upon what you have?
That's right. That's right. And then when they turn 1, we're doing it again with 18 months and 2 years. We're talking about it. We're letting them know that that's a thing that people do. So I'm always thinking about how can I talk to my clients and interact with them so they know that they need to go ahead and think about the next session. And I know sometimes parents don't want to think about their baby turning 1, but it's better to think about your baby turning 1 versus turning around and being like, oh shoot, I haven't booked my 1-year session and they're 1, in 2 days.
Right.
So it's just, I found that, as moms, we're busy. I'm a busy mom. And if I can take care of that stuff in advance, it makes my life and my stress level a whole lot easier. And so
You're
really
providing a better experience.
exactly.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. So I'm just trying to do that for my moms as well.
All right. So real quick, we're going to switch to questions and answers here.
Okay.
We're almost at the end of our time. I know it's kind of flown
Okay.
by. So
Oh,
from
and do we,
Crystal, at what point in the process do you share pricing? I think I missed it when you were talking about the Black Friday special.
so if they want to ask in advance about pricing, I'll send it to them right then. But we will release that Black Friday special. I normally do it about 10 o'clock on Thanksgiving night because I get really anxious and I'm excited. And we'll release it about 10 o'clock. But I'll send pricing out then if they
Does
ask for
everybody
it.
get the pricing or just if they
Yes.
request it?
No. Everybody
Everybody
gets.
gets it. You're qualifying them.
Yes, because
Okay.
I want to make sure that they know exactly what they're getting, what they're paying, that they can know that they can afford me before, and I want no surprises. I don't like to be surprised or blindsided by things, and I would rather somebody say, "Oh, I just can't afford that," than come into the studio and say, "Oh, I can't afford that." After
After you've
we've
done
done
all the work.
right,
Yep.
right. So
All right.
I'll send. I give them my sitting fees and I'll give them my order minimums. I think if somebody knows your order minimum and knows what they're like, has that idea in their head what they're going to be spending,
At least a
that's
ballpark. Yep.
right. That's enough. And I'll occasionally have people ask for our packages and stuff, but it's very, very rare once they know what they have to spend.
Okay. Next question from Michelle. What social platforms do you use the most?
Facebook and Instagram.
Those are the two
We
big
use
hitters.
That's the two big ones. We use Facebook a lot with our newborns, and then for our seniors is more Instagram. So I found that there's a divide in how the structure of marketing across different platforms work.
Okay. And from Adele, what's in the mom survival kit?
Okay, so in the mom survival kit, there is the gripper socks. So if moms get up off the hospital bed, they don't slide. The ones that have like the little pads on the bottom. Chapstick, candy, mints or chewing gum, and then I always have a cute little. It's from Target because I love Target. Coffee mug that has like a mom quote on it or something really cute. So it's nothing. It's nothing crazy. I try to keep it about $15 when I'm thinking about that.
That's helpful. From Linda, parents have a tendency to talk and interact with the baby when I'm trying to pose. How do I kindly explain that they need to disconnect from the baby and allow me to do what I need to accomplish my goal?
Um,
That's
so
experience talking there.
that is experience. That is definitely experience because we've had Jennifer's literally had a mom sit in her lap. Jennifer had hives afterward because she was nervous. It made her so nervous. But I do think it's an experience. It's being the expert, talking to them about those things. What we have to do is educate them before we get to that point where we become frustrated because a lot of times we make assumptions that they know these things. So we think that parents automatically know. and they don't. So if we'll just talk to them about it before we even start the session, they won't feel like we're talking directly to them. We're just educating them if we say those things before we get started. So we'll give them all the spiel about, we're going to go back here. If you're more than welcome to come back here if you want to. It's very, very hot, but we do have a chair that you can sit in over here.
Out of the way. Yeah.
Out of the
chair.
way, away from. Whoop. Apparently, my watch was listening to me talk. But we do educate them before they walk back in that room, so they know not to be Mom, if you're close, they smell that milk, and that they're going to stay awake from that. Say those things to them. It's okay to do that in advance. We put that in our email as well. So telling them 3 times tends to be key, so they remember if you tell them 3 times in 3 different settings.
Okay. From Linda, what software do you use again?
Sprout Studio. Okay. Love Sprout Studio.
And then from Jan, where can we get those cute swaddle thingies?
Which ones? Let's see. We have Jennifer just went on a buying rampage, and we love Birdie Baby. That's where we get a lot of our headbands from and things like that, and our swaddles. Birdie Baby, Intuition has them. Listen, I love to shop. I'm the one that left Imaging with like bags and bags and bags of props and stuff. So I can message you a list of where I get all my stuff. I'm happy to divulge all that information with everybody.
All right. Well, we are about out of time, so we've got some prizes to give away. We also had a baby contest, so we're going to announce those winners that are coming up here. But if you do want to connect with Lindsey, there's a link in the little gift section or offer section on the right-hand side with a link to our podcast and our Facebook group, so you can connect with her, join, continue to learn more, and I'm sure you're happy to answer questions if people reach out.
Oh, yeah. If you have any questions once we sign off here, please message me on Instagram and Facebook, and I will, like I said, Jennifer and myself are an open book. We'll tell you anything you want to know, and sometimes more than you want to know. So,
all right, let's get into that baby contest now.
All right, let's do it.
So we had a baby contest here where you could submit your photos, and Lindsey's picked her 3 favorites from them. So
now listen, I'll let Jennifer pick these so she could vicariously be a part of
so you had help on this one, huh? We had some awesome choices that are coming in. I wish everyone could win a prize on here. But so up first, we've got our 3rd place winner. This person's going to be winning a $50 lab credit to American Color Imaging. And the winner of the 3rd place winner is Amy Cooper.
Congratulations, Amy.
Congratulations there. So up next, we've got the 2nd place winner. This person gets a $75 lab credit to American Color Imaging. And the winner is Janessa Lawson. Congratulations, Janessa. Awesome. And finally, we've got our winner of the baby contest. And this person gets $100 lab credit to American Color Imaging. And the winner is, I need like a drum roll sound effect.
I know.
There we go. And the winner is Michelle Garcia. So congratulations to the winners of the baby contest. Please reach out to me, email me, and we'll make sure that you get hooked up with your lab credit. At the very end of this, I'll put my email address too, or you can hit reply to any of the reminders that went out there. So now let's get into some of our prizes and giveaways. So American Color Imaging's pretty awesome. They give us some fun things to give away. So up first, we've got a swag pack. It's got a t-shirt. You can choose the size and color that it comes in, a mug, koozie, and a hat. And let's see who this winner is going to be. And I need to find the right button. There we go. So let's get this Wheel of Fortune spinning, and we're going to see who the winner of the swag is. And it's Michelle.
Woo!
So Michelle, please email me, and we'll get your size and get that shipped off to you. So up next, this is another prize that we've got coming from ACI. This is a 16x20 metal print. I know you love metals. I love metal. They're just pretty much amazing. I think you might even know the maker of this photograph that's up here.
Yeah, this is the best seller in our studio, is the metals. People absolutely love the metals.
Oh, I agree. Same with us at our studio. Like, I just had 5 metals come in this morning from ACI. Like, they just sell. They make great wall groupings. I like to get the metal gallery frames that are on there too. So the winner of the 16 by 20 metal, we'll see who this one is. I love this little Wheel of Fortune thing. It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
And Danielle.
Woo!
And if it didn't have a last name when you registered, so if that Messiah photo means something to you, email me and we'll get you your credit coming forward. Excuse me, the metal print, the special code. So our final prize that we're going to be giving away is a combo where we've got a metal print and we've got a swag pack. So you get to have both that's coming forward. And the winner of the 16 by 20 metal and the swag pack and it's Jody. So Jody, make sure that you're reaching out to me so that we can get you that. So we've also got a special from ACI. This is exclusive for those of you that are watching this webinar live. I'm going to turn on in the special offers section a secret code. And it's that code that you're going to want to use. So that should be live now. That code is going to give you 20% off of any metal prints. That does expire on May 10th. So make sure that you're writing that down. This is not for people that are watching the replay. This is only for people that are watching it live. So make sure that you're looking to the right in that special offers section so you can get what that discount code is. And seriously, I know, Lindsey, you can talk about this as well, that the metals are just crazy. Like, people go like absolutely insane over them. Like, I like that you can use Windex and clean it off, that it just looks good no matter what you're doing. And you can build wall groupings. Like, it's kind of amazing what all it does.
Yeah, and people, they come in and they're like, I want those things that look like the pictures pop off of them, you know, that they look so vivid.
You throw a light on there and it just glows like crazy. It's like, this is what we need. This is kind of awesome. So I do want to chat for just a second about some upcoming webinars. So on May 12th, we've got my good friend Woody Walters that's going to be joining us. He's going over some creative brushwork in Photoshop. Woody is like the godfather when it comes to customized brushes in Photoshop. He was the first guy doing it. He's got a very unique style, education group and everything like that. And just between you and me, he said that he's going to have a special prize for everybody that's attending there too. So you don't want to miss out on Woody. That's coming up in just a couple of weeks. Again, you can register, same spot you did for this one. We've also got Lisa Asp. Yes, the animal image makers, Lisa. She's going to be joining us on the 26th. So in about a month, we're going to be learning how to talk dogs. So she's going to be going over pet photography stuff. That one's also going to be crazy cool. So get that one on your calendar. And yes, registration's open for that one too. ACI's website to get there. And also in June, so we're out just a little bit on that one, but we've got Michael Mowbray from Mo Lights. He's going to be talking to us about LED lights, how they're cool, how you can use them, and some kind of fun stuff that you can do with them. So make sure that you're checking that out, everybody. And if you have ideas for future episodes, anything like that, put them in chat, put them in the comments, or email me. And I would love to know what you're thinking, what you're enjoying, what you're getting out of this. The more that you communicate and the more that you're doing stuff, the more that we can make this more personalized and kind of better for it. So that's an official wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much, Lindsey. That was very, very helpful in terms of learning about newborn photography, kind of the tips and tricks in terms of what to do, how to do it, all that fun stuff. I know I learned a ton, and I'm sure everybody else did too when it came to it. So thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all for having me.
Yep. And make sure to check out Lindsey's site so you can, I know you can't get enough of her. So on the offer section and in the follow-up email, it'll be there so that you can cyber stalk her and have more Lindsey in your life, because that's just fun and everybody needs to do that.
That's right.
All right. Good night, everybody.